What's going on, y'all? It's JD Piquel. Today on the Hard Count, Quinn Ewers is into the transfer portal. Where is he going to go? Welcome into CFB with JD, the People's Channel for every single thing that you know and love college football content. Y'all drive the show. Armstrong Sims, Jack McKenzie, they make the real stuff happen. So Quinn Ewers has been the topic of conversation as of late in college football, especially with recruiting. He's a very interesting case study. There's a lot of things to go into with the whole Quinn Ewers saga. We'll start from the beginning. My man was one of the top-rated recruits, not just in his class, of all time in the 24/7 Sports Composite. Had like 100 rating. You heard me, 100 rating. I think he's one of 6 players ever to do that. One of the other quarterbacks being Vince Young, who had that high of a rating from these recruiting services. So guy's a big deal, a can't-miss prospect, if you will. His junior year, or I guess the end of his junior year, NCAA comes out and says NIL is a thing. Athletes can profit from their likeness. Quinn Ewers says, great. Texas, the state of Texas, I should say, the High School Football Association, whatever governing body that is, essentially says, great, high schoolers, you're still in high school, so we're not going to allow you to make money off of your likeness. And I think there's different states that have different principles. Texas as a whole just says, we're not going to let you make money. Okay, that's that. Quinn Ewers is sitting there saying, okay, well, I'm a pretty big deal. I'm not saying I'm assuming he said that. I'm a pretty big deal. I'm one of the highest rated recruits of all time. I can probably make some money. So what does he do? He says, I have one English class left to take. I'm going to finish that English class early, forego my entire senior season at South Lake Carroll, and decide to enroll early at Ohio State to where he was already committed. So he reclassifies, gets on campus in Columbus early, was with the Buckeyes this season, appeared in a number of snaps. None of them were meaningful. But now, fast forward the tape a year later, my man's back in the transfer portal. Why? A lot of questions as to why. A lot of, I think, arguments you could make for that. That's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is where should he go? And the list, as it seems, is narrowed down to 2 schools. He visited TCU on Monday. The thought is they are playing third right now to both Texas and Texas Tech. So let's unpack both Texas Tech and Texas as they would be a fit for Ewers. Texas Tech first. I just want to make sure it's clear. The buzz is very real for Texas Tech. Like, you hear the name Texas Tech and you're like, okay, they don't, is Graham Harrell starting quarterback there? I mean, they haven't really been good. I mean, competitive on a national level for a minute. They're going to make a bowl game this year. They got a new head coach in Joey McGuire, who I think is a phenomenal home run hire. We did a video on that on this channel. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. But the buzz is very real. One of the big reasons they hired a new offensive coordinator in Zach Kittley from Western Kentucky. Now, Kittley was at Texas Tech for a minute as an intern, GA type, back at Texas Tech. But at Western Kentucky, his quarterback, Bailey Zappi, is on pace to set records. Like, the offense is high-flying, very potent, very fun to play in. And so for Texas Tech, you can argue for Quinn Ewers, hey, you want to go play in the NFL? Like, your deal is you want to make some money? Come here, come to Texas Tech, set huge numbers up, and go play at the highest level after you're done here at Texas Tech. And the Big 12 is only getting better, too, so we'll go from that on another video. But one of the cons would be it's a deep quarterback room. Tyler Shuck, the Oregon transfer, got hurt this year. He has the ability to come back next year. He's expected to return, so we'd have to beat him out for the starting quarterback job. That's Tech. Texas is where he was committed at one point in his high school career. He eventually flipped to Ohio State, asked why. He said, I'm just tired of Texas not competing for national titles. He said they're going to come back at some point, but I'm just tired of this happening with Texas. I want to go somewhere and compete at the highest level. Fair point. Right now, they're back in the mix. Would likely play pretty early. At both these schools, he could play early, but at Texas especially, you look there, you say you got Hudson Card, you got Casey Thompson, neither of which really grabbed the job by the throat, neither of which you got to think if you're Steve Sarkisian you feel amazing about. If you come to Texas and you're Quinn Ewers, I would imagine you start, if not game 1, by midway through the season, you're going to be the guy, but don't get it twisted. He's going to one of these schools to start. I feel like Texas is the most clear-cut option to be the man day 1. And then if NIL is still important to you, if you're Quinn Ewers, which is a whole other topic we've gotten into, and he made it very clear NIL is important to him, seeing as he forego his senior season of high school, which is one of the best times of your life. I digress. Still important to him. At UT, they're going to make sure the NIL deal happens for you. Not saying they won't at Texas Tech, but you can already see the things being played out in Austin to where you're going to make some money. I think it was just this week that they said they're going to pay their offensive lineman, or a company came out and said they're going to pay the offensive lineman about $50,000 annually. as a college student to make $50,000 a year, some pretty good money. Imagine what you make if you're a quarterback, much less a high-rated quarterback. And there's some history there. Another thing that could be attractive to him is like the brand, right? Because he said he wants to play at the highest level. He wants to be on the big stage. He wants to have the bright lights. The lights are big and bright in Texas, deep in the heart of Texas, actually. If you get it, you get it. It's going to be the brand that I think could maybe, what's the right word, fulfill what he's looking for in terms of what he wants in a school. Texas Tech, yes, Power 5, yes, Big 12, but the prestige of Texas could be what allows him to get on campus there sooner rather than later. The thought right now, according to 24/7 Sports, is they're the favorite. They're keeping it very close to the vest. They're keeping it very hush-hush, the families as well as both schools right now. But the thought is that UT Austin is the favorite to land Quinn Ewers. So that's out there. Here's my thoughts on the matter. Like, these are the reports. This is the pros and cons. These are the facts. Here's my thoughts on the matter. Regardless of where he goes, he's going to have a chance to be successful. Amazing talent, again. One of the highest rated recruits of all time. I don't know how you distill that down to anything that would be unsuccessful. He's going to be successful anywhere he goes. Now, how successful he is, I think depends on the people around you. And honestly, the stage of which the program is that you come into. Let's just juxtapose these two. You got Texas Tech, new head coach, Joey McGuire, high character, high intensity guy, one of the best recruiters in the country, going to get guys in at Texas Tech. You have Texas, which is honestly going to be going through a cleansing right now. Steve Sarkisian, I think he's the right guy for the job there. You're going to run an exciting offense. You're going to have a chance to throw to some really talented players, assuming they don't all leave in the transfer portal. Going to be a lot of talent at Texas, but they're going through a cleansing right now. So both are kind of going through a rebuild, a reset, if you will. Texas, much more the reset than the rebuild. Because at Texas, you're still getting the bad stuff out of your program. And so if I'm Quinn Ewers, the only thing I would say to myself is I want to go where there's the best people. I think if you're Quinn Ewers, you need a stable program. You need stable people around you. And right now at Texas, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of stability. I mean, people in Austin with the boosters and whatnot, they're already talking about how long does Steve Sarkisian have? We lost to Kansas this year. Doesn't happen at Texas. There's sort of already some murmurs as to if he's even going to be the head coach in 2 years, which is fair. You can't lose to Texas you can't lose to Kansas if you're Texas, but that's just the way of the world. I would go where there's the most stability and the best people. And also, let's get out of the spotlight a little bit if we're Quinn Ewers. For the last year or so, all the talk has been is he's reclassifying, he wants to get NIL money, he's going to Columbus, football mecca, all this, that, and the other. Go to a Lubbock, Texas school. Go to a place that's out of the spotlight, out of the way, and just work. Get with a great OC and Zach Kitley. Get with their high-flying, air raid offense, and be able to just zing it around the yard and put up some numbers. I think that's what's best for Quinn Ewers. It sounds like Texas is going to be where he ends up, but I would strongly caution Quinn Ewers. Go where you have the best chance to be successful because of the other variables around you and what are the most stable variables around you. It's my own 2 cents. Like I said, I'm sure he'll be able to be successful wherever he goes. That's it for us here at The Hard Count. Appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. We do a video nearly every single day. We don't want you to miss it. We love you, and we will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.